I would say understand and immediately, as fast as you can, accept that it's not going to be easy, that it's going to be a struggle, it's going to be challenging, and give it 2, 3, 4 years. Do not give up after 3 months. Do not give up after 9 months. Don't give up after a year and a half. And it's a little bit of separation there, but you still got that fallback. And then you get out in the real world, and it's really about what you do on a day-to-day basis. It's how good you are with time, your time maintenance or management, and what are those actions that are actually allowing you to get to your goals. So goal setting became a huge thing. Living a holistic life became a huge thing. I didn't have soccer practice built in anymore. I didn't have a cafeteria to go eat food at. I had to make my own food. I had to go to the gym. Got to show up at work. You got to show up to the office, and you got to be right in your mind so that you're helping the people in front of you. Biggest transition for me was probably that time management piece and making sure that I was making the most of my time. Still am not the best at that. Still working on it. I think we all do. But also having a partner like Aiden, who's able to, we're very different in some ways, and I'm able to learn from him. And so that's been fantastic as well. I want to touch on a point that, we talked about the 8%, but finding those mentors who can let you cut through the stuff that is unimportant. Aiden's been a mentor for me. I've got Tracy, Pete, other big names in the insurance world that allow you to cut through the stuff that isn't important and really get down to the things that matter of how to actually get to the goals you're going at. So I'd say goal setting and time management, big time.
That's cool. What about you, Aiden?
It's a good point because, Jared said you should have to show up to the office. He's right, but you also, if you're in this industry, you don't need to show up to the office. So will you, right? Mm-hmm. So last year, the word for the year was self-development. I wanted to write 1 million in premium. I wanted to run a marathon. I want to read 50 books. I got close on the books. We did the first 2, but I failed forward. Then the name of this year was consistency because I saw what can happen when you're not consistent. So now it's about come in 6 days a week, 5 at the least, but come in every day, do your core things, your core habits, having a core set of habits is huge. Because if you take an hour in the morning, right, to do some things you need to do, right, write your goals, read, whatever it is, clean up after your pets, something productive, but it sets your day, it sets the tone for the day. So when you're not doing that, what's it going to look like? Because this is a kind of a weird quote, and I hope I say it right, but if you are what you do, then when you don't, you aren't, right? That's from
baby bombs. That's really good.
Yeah, that's from this guy, Trevor Moawad. This is it takes what it takes. He was Russell Wilson's personal trainer. He unfortunately died of cancer last year. Jeez. But an amazing dude, mentality monster. Mm-hmm. And that was one of his quotes. So if you are what you do, then you don't. When you don't, you aren't. So if I want to be a successful business owner, what do I have to do objectively? That has nothing to do with Aiden. That makes me successful. And then it's identifying those things and holding yourself to it, I think.
Oh, dude, that's so good. I really love that. And I want to sit in that. I think do you guys know who Jim Rohn is? Do you guys listen to any of Jim Rohn?
Don't know him super well, but I've heard of him.
Oh, dude, he's so good. And he's a lot of people work on their work more than they work on themselves. But when you work on yourselves, you start creating a fortune and not just being able to pay the bills. And I think what you said, bro, that is so good. Showing up every day, doing the consistent small actions. What are some small actions that you've started doing and creating just in your life that small things? Because obviously you've tried to build that in so you've done the 5 days a week or 6 days a week of the office. What are some other things?
Yeah. So, and again, I'm looking at Cody going, this guy's so consistent. Monday morning to even on the weekends, he's doing stuff. How did he get there? He worked up to it. So I'm working up to that. But something, a really big nugget I could give a new entrepreneur is do what you're doing throughout the week. And you're obviously doing it to work towards something, right? So take 15 minutes on Sunday and just sit and think about what you liked from the week and what you'd cut. Maybe who you'd cut or who you'd want to add. Think about what would make it easier and what's making it too hard to achieve what you're actually working towards. And then it's not like this whole 3-month thing. Then you reflect. It's like you're actively noting things. Maybe you don't act on it yet. You write it down. This was really bugging me this week. I need a solution for appointment setting really bad, blah, blah, blah. Then over a month, you can look back and be like, okay, this is what's really most pressing. Something like that. Take 5 minutes and just be thoughtful or be mindful about what's working and what's not on the weekend. And then you can fix it over time.
Dude, that's so good. That's so good.
Absolutely.
Dude, that's really good. What do you think about that, Jared?
Yeah, I would say setting aside time also for education purposes. This is such a broad industry with so many different lines of business. And if you niche into one line of business like final expense, there's so many carriers with so many products, mortgage protection, all of it. So maybe a little bit of time, doesn't have to be every day, but a week, learning a little bit more about the industry itself as a whole, or learning about something you enjoy outside of work, just consistently learning a little bit over time. Yeah. Instead of having to take a month to learn everything you could have learned over a year necessarily. I also love networking. So finding time on the evenings of the weeknights to go to a local event and go shake hands and say hello and smile and, what do you do? Oh, I do this, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to pay off right away. It's going to be a year or two until that actually turns into money. But if you don't start today and you don't start tomorrow, then it's going to be years and years down the road until you're making an impact locally. And I'm really, really motivated to make an impact locally. And so for people who are looking to do something like that, I'd say get out in the community and go say hello to the people who are leading your town or space.
Dude, yeah, that's so good. And I've seen you guys do like a lot of different stuff, non-work related, which I like really respect and love. Like, why is that important to you guys? Like, did you guys both run the marathon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, why is that stuff important to you? Because like, dude, not everybody is going to go out and run a marathon. Like, I feel like the stereotype business owner is like, okay, like you just like work. Like, how do I grow the business? How do I do this, that, whatever, which is good. But I think it's so overly obsessive. Sometimes it like gets like, it's not functional and it's not good. And it's so like overbalanced. I feel like you guys, at least like from what I've seen and kind of like talked to you guys about, you guys are pretty balanced people. Like, why is that important to you guys? Aiden, you could go first and then Jared.
Sure. Yeah, for me, it was kind of like, can you do it, right? And like a lot of people would be like, well, of course you can, but like, why do it? It's hard, it takes time, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's like, I seriously wanted to see I could do it and train my mind to be more patient and to be okay working towards something with no immediate gratification, So, and again, once I'd written it down, I had to do it. But yeah, play a lot of soccer outside of the work. Running took the place of that for a while, but working out, those things are super important. And like, yeah, I'm not where I want to be business-wise, but I'm super happy and fulfilled because I'm doing these other things. Whereas if I maybe had just the business, I'm like, okay, if I don't make X amount or I don't hire X amount, I feel bad. No, it's like I have these other things that fulfill me while I work on this fun, and it turns into a fun thing to work on instead of an obligation. So it was an important way for me to put an objective outside of business to work towards. And that would just help everything else, right? Because again, self-development and working on yourself. I knew it would pay. I knew it's a business obstacle and decision. It's disguised as running, right?
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Jared?
Yeah. I agree with Aiden completely there. If we want to be in this business for a long time, I want to do it sustainably. I want to be able to do it in 15 years and not be burnt out after 3. Now, that is to say, it does take away from your business success. I agree with Aiden. I'm not exactly where I could be if I spent all of my time working on business and working on operating and being most efficient as possible. But it does fulfill you in other ways of life. And I've always kind of wanted a holistic lifestyle. I've always wanted to be fit. And all the things we do outside of business, I think make us better people in business, which kind of helps with that customer relationship or client relationship, because got other touching or talking points over here. And I can really bond with people because most likely there's something that we do that is very similar to one another. So it may take away from that immediate gratification, but again, in the long run, we're building a life. And Jesse Itzler, I got hooked onto him years and years ago. He talks about building a life resume. And out of college, I didn't want to build my work resume. I literally wrote out my life resume. What have I done? What are the experiences that I've had at the age of 21, 22, 23, whatever it was when I had made it? And that just, really grounds you in like, oh my God, life is about building this business, but there's so much more to it as well.
Yeah.
And if I want to have as much impact as possible, it's about becoming a really good person. Being a good business person is a part of that, but ultimately it's about being the best person you can be. And so that's kind of why I'm really drawn to doing things outside of business.
Yeah, that's cool. So like, was it hard, the marathon stuff? How long did you guys train for it?
3 months.
Every week for 3 months. And then it's not like we had run 26 miles before. We had worked up to a 20 mile base run, but it's still 6 miles. So we were maxed out the day we did it. We had never run that far in our lives, but yeah, we did it. And then we did the 4x4x48 in March, which was even harder.
Yeah.
And now we're chilling for a little bit. So those are 2 really hard experiences, but like doing the 4x4, especially 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours, by the end of it, you're like, dang, my mind, if I call the shots and I just don't listen to my stupid emotions and don't listen to my stupid triggers, because this is a comfort machine, right? So if I turn that crap off, dang, I can get a lot done. So
true.
It shows you when you need it, you can go to gear 7 and be okay.
Yeah.
And so many people let themselves off the hook.
Jared, what'd you learn from that experience? Because that is a monstrous experience, dude.
Well, it's, building a business and then after work going to have to run 6 to 8 miles. It teaches patience and consistency and taking the now and saying, oh, it's not about right now. It's about 3 months away, or you can apply it to any part of your life. Patience and consistency can pay off into massive things because we're running, 6 miles a day, maybe throughout the week, and then a longer on the weekend. 6 miles isn't something to celebrate about, but it's because we're building up to something that is special. So that's kind of what it taught me. I can do anything I want in this life if I'm consistent and I'm patient and I stay at it. So I would say that was the biggest takeaway for me. Yeah. I was emotional after. I literally cried. I was so like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just did this. I did it. Well, yeah, it's so super emotional journey. It was awesome. Highly recommend for anyone who's thinking about it.
Yeah. And sorry, John, but Jared, remember the 4x4x48? You had an injury pretty early on and you thought you might have to bail, right? How'd that go?
About 8 miles in, my body was in absolute shambles.
We didn't train.
Because do you know what the 4x48 is? 4x4x48, Johnny?
48 miles?
It's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So it's David
Goggins'
wait, challenge.
I think I do remember seeing you guys do that.
Yeah, so 4 hours 8 miles into it, after the second 4 mile run, I was like absolutely done. My body was like, not today, dude. But you just get up, you do the 4 miles, you get up, you do the 4 miles, you get up, and you become into a trance. And it's like, yeah, you really do separate from your initial thoughts and your emotions to get stuff like that done. And that allows you to separate from your emotions in a day-to-day, regular day-to-day action. So yeah, that was hard, but so cool when you're finished with that kind of stuff. So cool.
That's insane. So 4 miles every 4 hours.
Yep. For 48 hours. So it ends up being 48 miles in 48 hours.
Bruh. I didn't know that. I thought it was, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Didn't run a day either.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. What made you guys want to do that?
We said we would.
Yeah. So true.
We told ourselves we'd do it, and then it came around and we said, okay. And so we did it with a couple other friends. One of our friends is insane. He got faster every single run.
Unbelievable.
That's a different level. But we raised some money for a nonprofit that helps kids get into learning about earth conservation and how to make their own initiatives for it. So it's a cool cause. And we were just kind of like, it's not about us. And it made it a little easier once we stopped thinking about ourselves and our little emotions, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. What's the biggest advice you guys could give a young entrepreneur, somebody like somebody that's maybe in college that like hasn't taken the leap out of like college yet or into the real world, or even like that's in college but like looking to make a jump now, like what's some of the biggest and best advice that you've gotten that you would tell somebody in that situation?
Sure. I can go first on this. I would say understand and immediately, as fast as you can, accept that it's not going to be easy, that it's going to be a struggle, it's going to be challenging, and give it 2, 3, 4 years. Do not give up after 3 months. Do not give up after 9 months. Don't give up after a year and a half. Breakthroughs come to those who are persistent. So stay persistent and stay patient. That'd be my biggest gift.
That's good.
Yeah, so kind of going off that, you want to find a good mentor, someone that knows. Find someone that done what you're trying to do, and make sure that they can prove it to you, because there's plenty of fakers. But okay, you're following someone that's promising, you're doing the actions that are promising, but it's going to get tough after a couple months. So what's a reward you can set up for yourself? After 1 month of X, I get something I want, or after 3 months of production, I can get that trip that I wanted to take with the spouse. Reward yourself and form a schedule with balance. So that's my advice. But I think getting into business at our age is a huge decision, because you're immediately creating skin in the game. And when you're an employee, you don't have that, right? You're doing what you need to do to keep your survival, your wage that gives you survival. Maybe it gives you a good life, but you're not thinking about the business as with a degree of ownership. So if you can get into a business where there's some ownership, it's going to force you to do these things that we're talking about. And that's going to be a kick in the butt that you appreciate from yourself. That's what I would give as advice.
That's good. Yeah. And that's coming from somebody who makes more than 99% of people. So that's really good. But dude, it was really fun having you guys on the podcast. How can people reach out to you guys? They liked what they heard and they want more information, what you guys do, how they can reach out to you, questions, even like how they can do what you guys have done at such a young age. Like how can they reach out to you guys?
Take it away, brother.
All right. So we are going to get back on the YouTube grind, but for now, putting a fork in that, we're in transition. But Your Compound Coaches is a page where we educate on compound interest and how to best achieve it. Because if you're in a position or you're in your 20s, maybe even 30s, even 40s, you got time to get compound interest moving. So let's get it secure and get it moving. And we talk a little bit about the angles of that. Other than that, LinkedIn, you can find either of us. Instagram, my handle's Altitude W Aiden. So that's just more of a personal channel until otherwise specified. But feel free to check in with us and shoot us questions, because we love chatting with other entrepreneurs and would love to help.
Absolutely.
Is that how they reach out to you too, Jared?
Oh, they can reach out through Aiden, of course. My Instagram is at Jared Firstel. You can throw it up there because it's a tough spelling for most people. But yeah, I mean, we're running that YouTube channel together. I think we'll probably put something else, some other podcasts together in the next few months. So we got some cool things we're working on right now, some projects that are pretty low key. We're really just trying to get everything as efficient as possible so we can spend time cultivating and creating for young entrepreneurs, people that are like-minded or want to be like-minded. So, but yeah, reach out to me on Instagram if you want to chat. Happy to do it. And thanks for having us, Johnny. I appreciate it. This has been really fun.
Totally. So if you're out there, if you watched till now, why didn't you hit the like and comment? Like, why didn't you hit the subscribe button already? Just do it. You're going to do it already. You literally watch all the videos. Just click it, click the like, comment your favorite, comment which one your favorite is out of these. No, I'm just kidding. Comment your favorite part, subscribe, a ton more content coming out. And if you're trying to go from unknown to unforgettable, implement these things today. Just don't wait to take action. Take action now. Ready, fire, aim. Don't wait to aim, just fire and then start aiming later. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We'd love to. Got a ton of content coming out soon. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.